Coming out like a boxer at the bell, President Trump issued 200 executive orders, EOs, in the first few days of his new term in office, many of which conservatives and libertarians saw as utterly essential because they reverse previous EOs or policies that conspired to crush freedom, free enterprise, energy recovery, and even the truth about gender being biologically assigned. One of those EOs has not received a great deal of attention, but it's a radical change from a dangerous and deluded policy that put people in danger because it pushed males into the female population of prisons. Hi everyone, I'm Gardner Goldsmith for MRC-TV, and here's the story. Thomas English reports for the Daily Caller News Foundation, quote, President Donald Trump signed an executive order Monday barring biological males who account for 15% of inmates in women's federal prisons from occupying women's federal detention facilities, end quote. Yeah, 15%. Why government has done this might remain a mystery for the ages. Just the idea of transferring to female detention facilities convicted criminal males who pretend to be female is absurd. And of course, for reasons of truth, logic, and safety, people ought to be able to see it as absurd. But there also is the potential of things like pregnancies and sexually transmitted diseases to consider. Quote, several incidents of rape and sexual assault involving biological male inmates in female facilities have surfaced in recent years. A biological male at Rikers Island in New York City was convicted in 2022 of raping a female inmate while housed in the women's prison wing. A similar case occurred in 2024, where another biological male was convicted in California of raping a female inmate in the showers of the prison's female facilities, end quote. Incredible. Yet, we discover 1/6 of the population in U.S. prisons is male? That's a big problem. And that's not all. Trump's EO goes further than barring the absurd transfer of men into women's prisons. It addresses another major ethical and practical problem that, over the past 30 years, has become more and more prevalent in detention facilities. Tax-funded so-called gender transition medical procedures, and of course the so-called therapy that goes with them. Quote, the order, which prohibits federal funds for gender transition medical procedures, drugs, and treatment, mandates that the federal government only recognize male and female sexes and requires inmates to be housed according to their biological sex. Of the 10,047 total inmates in women's federal facilities, 1,538 are biological males, according to the Federal Bureau of Prisons, BOP. The Attorney General and Secretary of Homeland Security shall ensure that males are not detained in women's prisons or housed in women's detention centers, the order reads. It adds that no federal funds shall be expended for any medical procedure, treatment, or drug for the purpose of conforming an inmate's appearance to that of the opposite sex, end quote. That last bit is a good addition, reiterating that regardless of surgical or chemical attacks on the human body, men remain men and women remain women. And there's more. The EO also ends another dangerous and frightening Biden policy, that of allowing men to enter domestic abuse shelters built and operated to protect women. Quote, the order also reversed the past policy of allowing biological males into ostensibly single-sex domestic abuse shelters for women and mandated that government-issued identification reflect the bearer's biological sex, meaning no X marker designating an undefined or unlisted gender will be recognized, end quote. And for those wondering about federalism and whether this executive order, as sensible as it is, applies to state facilities, the answer is no. Trump's order focuses on the federal prison system, and even LGBTQ-oriented publication The Advocate acknowledges that Trump is focusing on the 2003 Prison Rape Enforcement Act, an overbroad statute that went far beyond protecting men in prisons from being raped, which ought to be prohibited without such a statute in the first place. The ambiguous language of that 2003 act has been a problem since it was passed and has been used to engage in these terrible men in women's prisons and tax funds for transitioning practices. In a sane world, that statute would not have passed as worded, and the problem only now is being addressed thanks to Trump's executive order. The matter of state policy is different, but only by a small degree, because the 14th Amendment mandates that if states have statutes prohibiting criminal acts such as rape and assault, then the states are required to protect people equally. Introducing criminal men into a women's prison system decreases the degree of safety in which those women are forced to live, which is a clear breach of the 14th Amendment. The deeper moral problem of forcing taxpayers to fund this insanity, well, that comes to light as the final takeaway. But of course, it's just one of many facets of federal sentencing, prison operations, and jurisprudence that are all collectivized as part of the policing system. On a philosophical level, any collectivist system forces all sorts of people together, people who have differing opinions as to how that system should operate. Well, in this case, Donald Trump has taken action to protect women from a terrible, overbroad federal statute. It remains unclear as to when Trump's new executive branch order will be enacted, but many people likely will see it as a good start to reform a federal prison system that has been malfunctioning for many generations. Thanks for watching, everyone. Please like and subscribe. Visit us at MRCTV.org. MRCTV.org. See what the whole team is doing. Visit us at the store. And, of course, consider donating to the Media Research Center. Visit us on the Facebook page. Check us out on X. Check us out on TikTok while they're still running, and of course Instagram. And if you want to find me on Gab, I'm at Gardner Goldsmith on Gab, and on X I'm at Gard Goldsmith. Thanks for watching, and don't forget, if you are subscribed at Rumble, you just hit the follow. They don't censor us there. At YouTube, censorship still occurs. So please share the videos far and wide. For MRC TV, I'm Gardner Goldsmith.